Okay, let's start. Good morning. It is a beautiful day here at Option Pit. I am Mark Sebastian, the founder of OptionPit.com. This is the AM Volatility Report. So let's talk about what is going on in the world. Well, if you look at the events page, you can see this. That's right, this exact Saturday for just $147, creating income with option spreads. I've already seen some of what we're going to be presenting, and it's going to be pretty great. We're going to teach you how to put the odds on your side. You can also catch a replay of my most recent Option Pit webinar of the month. You can right there, great place to view anything. You can also view any of our free content on our YouTube page, including this volatility report. So let's talk about the market. Well, we've got a little bit of an upheaval with this whole FEC, FCC thing that's throwing the markets for a little loop. I think a lot of people are a little unhappy with what's coming out of there. But we are interested in a situation where we've got VIX up a touch and the VIX futures down a touch. Why? Well, that spread is too wide. So even if the VIX stays around 14, I think we're going to start seeing the March and April futures really start to dip. They're way overpriced, and you know, they just kind of look ugly to me. And you know, unless we've got a serious sell-off coming, and I just highly doubt that's heading our way. You know, I think you're in for a little more VIX collapse. One interesting point is that Russell implied vol on the year, kind of interesting, at least to me. Let's take a look at it like this. All right, here's the daily chart. Let's look at Russell vol, a year out. And you see how cheap that is over the last year? You know, even touched at lows. All right, now let's look at that chart in SPX. Notice something interesting? There's a lot more slack, and you know the VIX is a lot higher than RVX in relative terms. All right, especially considering their indexes. Something to think about. It's unusual. You don't usually see something like that. And you know, I think that points toward markets kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Low Russell vol typically points, you know, it's been a leading indicator. When Russell vol's been really lower than VIX, typically VIX vol has fallen, not the other way around. But we've got to figure out what's going on with this FCC vote. I think that's going to create a lot of lawsuits, and it's going to create all sorts of other fun stuff. Net neutrality. I mean, I think that's got to be bad for, I mean, that's going to be hurting specific groups. You know, there are some names that are popping today. You've got oil a touch lower, not much, and you've got rates basically flat, so to maybe creeping a little higher. VIX futures are still down a little bit, but not that much. We're seeing a kind of a flat UVXY and VXX. And you know, on the day, I do think the markets will figure this out, calm down a rally. But I think we have to get through kind of figuring out exactly what is going on with net neutrality and what really everybody means and is doing and saying. All right, so that's kind of where I come off on all this stuff. You know, there are some interesting names hitting 52-week low implied vols. ISRG in particular, and then we saw LinkedIn hit one recently and then bounce. A couple names that are still moving. Facebook, still moving higher. That one's got a lot of bull pressure. You know, where are we seeing a little bit of weakness? MasterCard maybe got a little ahead of itself, but that's one that's going to keep going higher. Some of the credit card names, AXP, kind of similar story. It seems recovering from Costco. We'll see where that ends up. You know, even though oil is stabilized, one thing I'm noticing is that some of these oil services still and big oil firms still look a little uglier. So that's something to keep our eyes on. All right, folks, on that note, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you soon.